formation of hydrogen molecule. What is dehydrogenation? Dehydrogenation is the process of removal of hydrogen molecule from the substrate molecule. This is called dehydrogenation. For example, when wafers of alcohol are passed over heated copper or silver to form aldehyde bond ketones. You can use any one, but copper is more preferred because silver is a more expensive. It is a highly expensive. Why to use silver, which is more expensive, instead of copper? Because copper also does same work as that about silver, which is less expensive. Copper can be used for the dehydrogenation process. See, RCH2OH. This is what actually primary alcohol. Just now I told you, primary alcohol, when the vapors of alcohol pass over copper or silver, okay, what is the product? There is a removal of this hydrogen molecule. Okay, there is a formation of what? Carbon oxygen double bond, means it forms RC double bond OH. Aldehyde is formed with the liberation of hydrogen molecule. Aldehyde is produced. When secondary alcohol RC R prime, now I took water, secondary alcohol. Just you see, over here there is a removal of hydrogen. That's what I call dehydrogenation. Removal of hydrogen molecule from the substrate molecule is called dehydrogenation process. Over here also, when secondary alcohol is passed over heated copper, there is a removal of hydrogen molecule. It forms what? RC double bond O R prime. Okay, this forms a ketone. Plus there is a removal of hydrogen. Means over here there is a formation of aldehyde as a molecule. Over here there is a formation of ketone as a molecule. Means on dehydrogenation of primary alcohol, aldehydes are the products. On dehydrogenation, secondary alcohol gives ketone as the product. Okay, this is regarding methods of preparation of what? Aldehydes and ketones. Some other methods are there. Remaining methods we will discuss in tomorrow's class. Thank you. Hello students, welcome to the online classes of chemistry. In this class we will discuss structure of carbonyl group. In last class we have discussed nomenclature of organic compounds, that is aldehydes and ketones. Now we will look at the structure of what? Carbonyl group. Listen carefully. We know the general formula of aldehydes, that is RC double bond OH. Over here there is a carbonyl group. C double bond O group is known as what? Carbonyl group. What is the structure of this carbonyl group? We need to study this structure of carbonyl group. We know that the atomic number of carbon is 6. Okay, by looking at this compound itself, carbon contains double bond, means it should be actually sp2 hybridized. But how it is sp2 and what is the geometry, what is the bond angle? We need to study that one. The electronic configuration 1s2, 2s2, 2p2. The electron, this is in ground state. When electron excited from 2s to 2p, the electronic configuration becomes 2s1, 2p3. Actually, chemical bond formation takes place in the excited state of what? Carbon atom. Over here 1 electron, over here 3 unpaired electrons are present. Okay, px, py and pz, specifically 2px, 2py and 2pz. Now carbon forms a bond with what? One carbon adjacent carbon atom, means it may be alkyl, aryl or alkyl, and another group should be what? Hydrogen, and it forms a bond with what? Oxygen. Therefore, we need to write electronic configuration of oxygen also. Electronic configuration of oxygen is 1s2, 2s2, 2p4. Over here 2s is completely filled, 2p it contains 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, if you observe these two, I told you this is over here in case of aldehydes or ketones, the carbonyl group is the carbon atom of carbonyl group is sp2 hybridized. sp2 means 1s 2p atomic orbitals combined to produce what? 3 sp2 hybrid orbitals. How the number of sp2 hybrid orbitals becomes 3? In previous year, means class 11, we studied that always the number of atomic orbitals involving in the hybridization process is equal to the number of hybrid orbitals. What is that? Always the number of atomic orbitals involved in the hybridization process is equal to number of hybrid orbitals. Over here, what is the number of atomic orbitals? Listen carefully. 1s atomic orbital combined with 2p atomic orbitals to produce what? sp2 hybrid orbitals. But how many sp2? 3, because 3 atomic orbitals took part in the hybridization process. Therefore, we know that 3 sp2 hybrid orbitals are arranged in a trigonal planar geometry. Okay. Therefore, I will draw the orbital diagram of this carbonyl carbon in case of aldehyde as well as ketone. Actually, if you replace this H by R, aldehyde becomes ketone. How many sp2? 3 sp2. You look at this one. I drawn actually 3 sp2 hybrid orbitals. Each sp2 hybrid orbital contains a single electron. Each sp2 hybrid orbital contains what? Actually, single electron. Now, one atomic orbital remain unhybridized. 1p atomic orbital, because 1s 2p combined together to form what? sp2. But 1p atomic orbital of carbon remains unhybridized. Means we need to represent that one. This is a unhybridized. It may be px or py. Unhybridized orbital. Unhybridized means the atomic orbital which has not taken part in the hybridization process. Okay. Now, if you look at the oxygen, over here oxygen, 1s, that is yes, atomic orbital is completely filled, and 1p also completely filled, but 2p atomic orbitals are actually, they contain what? Unpaired electrons, means single electrons. Always you remember one point, these lone pair of electrons will not form a bond. They are called as non-bonding electrons. Non-bonding means they doesn't involve in bonding process. Means always unpaired electrons, means single electrons, they took part in hybridization, they took part in chemical bond formation. Over here, how many electrons are actually unpaired, 2 electrons, those two they took part in the chemical bond formation. Over here you know that in case of carbon totally 4 unpaired electrons are present. 3 occupy 3 sp2 hybrid orbitals, another occupy what, unhybridized p orbital, that I will show over here. Now if you take this oxygen over here, which orbital, p orbital, we know the structure of p orbital, that is what, dumbbell shape. Is it right or not? These two are what, dumbbell shape. Now the one p atomic orbital of oxygen overlap axially. Axially means along the axis to form what? It forms a sigma bond. It forms what? A sigma bond by sharing one electron with a sp2 hybrid orbital. That is sp2 to p. It is always pz because pz is considered as a internuclear axis. Pz is always present along what? Internuclear axis. In the sense it forms what? It always involves in formation of sigma bond along the axis, means it overlap along the axis with a sp2 hybrid orbital of carbon to form a sp2 pz 1 sigma bond. But we know that in case of this oxygen, all the px, py and pz atomic orbitals are perpendicular to each other. If you consider this as a pz, this as a px, and this is what, py, these all are perpendicular to each other. Okay, now it contains one electron each atomic orbital contains what, 1 electron. But over here px is what, completely filled. Okay, py is, it contains single electron, pz contains single electron. Okay, 2s is there, that is totally outermost orbital contains totally how many paired electrons? 2, unpaired 2. Okay, now we know that always take this one. Let us imagine this contains what, single electron. Okay, this is what, p atomic orbital of oxygen, which contains single electron over here. Let us imagine this is what, py. What is this? Py. This py atomic orbital of oxygen and another py atomic orbital of what, carbon, they overlap sidewise like this to form a pi bond. Which one? A pi bond. This is the orbital diagram of what, actually carbonyl group. Over here remaining 2 sp2 hybrid orbital, one sp2 forms what, sigma bond with the oxygen atom. Okay, and remaining 2 sp2 hybrid orbitals, where one sp2 hybrid orbital forms a bond with what, carbon, and another sp2 hybrid orbital form bond with what, hydrogen. That I will show directly. This is what, R, and this is H. Understood? Means the same can be written like this. You know, this is what, actually what, carbon to oxygen, there is a single sigma bond. Okay, yes, and carbon to oxygen there is a one pi bond, yes, double bond, and carbon to R there is a single bond, yes, and carbon to hydrogen there is a single bond. Yes, this is the structure. And you know that over here it contains how many lone pairs? 2 lone pair of electrons. You need to place those 2 electrons over here. If you observe over here, the bond angle is actually, you know, this is sp2, means sp2 hybrid orbitals are arranged in a trigonal. This is what, trigonal planar geometry. You see this one. This is what, trigonal planar, means all the 4 atoms, carbon along with oxygen and this R group and H group, all they lie in what, single plane. They lie in single plane. Andre artha ಒಂದ plane ಒಳಗೆ ಅದಾವಂತ ನಾನು. Okay, with the bond angle of 120 degree. What is the bond angle? 120 degree. Understood? This is regarding the structure of carbonyl group of both aldehyde and ketone. In ketone you replace this H by what? Just R. Okay. And if you observe carbonyl group is polar in nature. How it is? Polar in nature. Carbonyl group is actually polar in nature. See how it becomes the polar actually. R C double bond O H. This is the, I took actually aldehyde. Now if you observe the structure over here, there is a electronegativity difference between carbon and oxygen. Oxygen is more electronegative compared to carbon. Therefore always the pi electron cloud is actually get shifted towards what? Oxygen. It appears to get shifted towards what? Oxygen. Therefore when you shift both the pi electrons towards the oxygen, the structure becomes like this. C single bond O, oxygen has gained electron. The atom which gained electron, it carries what? Negative charge. And the atom which lost electron, it carries what? Positive charge. Okay. Now if you shift again this one, if you write the resonance structure, you will get again the same structure. These two are nothing but what? Resonance structures of what? Aldehyde. Over here if you look at this one, it appears to be what? Polar. It is what? Polar. Actually why the carbonyl group of aldehyde and ketone is a polar? Question may be asked for 1 mark. Why the carbonyl group of aldehyde and ketone is a polar in nature? This may be a question in the exam. How to write the answer? You should write like this. Listen carefully. In aldehydes and ketones, the carbonyl group is polar because there is a electronegativity difference between carbon and oxygen. That existence of difference in the electronegativity between two combining atoms makes the carbonyl group to exist as a what? Polar in nature. Understood? Okay. This is regarding what? Actually the structure of carbonyl group. All of you please write down this concept. Okay. I will back in within 5 minutes. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Okay, welcome back to the classes. Now we will discuss how to prepare aldehydes and ketones. What is the method of preparation of aldehydes and ketones? All of you listen carefully. How to prepare aldehydes and ketones? Preparation of aldehydes and ketones. Listen, today I want to give you some shortcuts regarding this preparation methods which applies totally to the organic chemistry. Listen carefully. You need to note down these things along with me. Listen carefully. When hydrocarbons means what are hydrocarbons? Compounds containing carbon and hydrogen. For example, methane, ethane, propane, butane. Okay. When hydrocarbons undergo oxidation to form alcohols. To form what? Alcohols. What is oxidation? You know. What is oxidation? Addition of oxygen or removal of hydrogen. Addition of oxygen or removal of hydrogen is said to be what? Oxidation. Over here, if you add oxygen or remove hydrogen from the hydrocarbons, you will get oxidized product. Over here, specifically, when hydrocarbons undergo oxidation, they produce what? Alcohols, and these alcohols, when oxidized, means when further subject alcohols into oxidation, they produce aldehydes as well as ketones. But the difference over here is, if you begin the oxidation process by taking primary alcohol, you listen carefully, primary alcohol gives aldehydes. If you begin the reaction by taking secondary alcohol, it gives ketones. Understood? Always primary alcohol oxidation gives what? Aldehydes. Secondary alcohol oxidation gives what? Ketones. Now, both of these, when further oxidized, they form carboxylic acids. Carboxylic acids, you know, RCOOH. Okay, the general formula IO. What are the carboxylic acids? Carboxylic acids. Understood? Listen a lot carefully. This general thing you should know. Okay. Other variations are there. In this, there are so many variations, but you need to know this basic thing to write the chemical reactions. Now, I will rub this one. You please, all of you, note down this one. I will give some time for you. Now we listen carefully. We will discuss first method: preparation of aldehydes and ketones from alcohols. From what? Alcohols. From what? Actually, alcohols. Just now I told you, to convert alcohols into aldehydes or ketones, what you need to do? Oxidation. Means it is clear that when alcohols are oxidized, they produce what? Aldehydes and ketones. But the thing over here is, you need to use oxidizing agents. You need to use what? Oxidizing agent. For example, I will give you, when alcohols are heated, when alcohols undergo oxidation in presence of anhydrous chromium trioxide to form aldehydes or ketones. You know, it depends on what? Nature of alcohol. If it is a primary aldehyde, if it is a secondary ketone. Okay. I will take alcohol now. General formula CH2 can be written as CHH and OH can be written as OH. Always you remember, during oxidation process, during oxidation, the role of anhydrous CrO3 is to provide this nascent oxygen. The nascent oxygen required for the oxidation process is always provided by water, anhydrous chromium trioxide. You need to know this much. No need to go through mechanism of this process. Okay, just you know, anhydrous chromium trioxide is an oxidizing agent. What are the oxidizing agents? Oxidizing agents are the substances which helps in the oxidation of substrate molecule by themselves undergoing reduction. They themselves undergo reduction, but they oxidize what? Substrate molecule. Over here, actually what happens? Listen carefully. During oxidation of alcohol, you need to note down this one also. During oxidation of alcohol, always two bonds undergo cleavage. Those are nothing but one is a carbon to oxygen bond. One is a carbon to oxygen bond, means this bond. And another one is a oxygen to hydrogen bond. Listen, during oxidation of alcohols, two bonds undergo cleavage. One is a carbon to hydrogen, another one is a oxygen to hydrogen. The same thing happened over here. Carbon to oxygen bond undergo cleavage and oxygen to hydrogen bond undergo cleavage. This means two hydrogen atoms combined with the one oxygen. What is the product? I will show you over here by drawing a line itself. Okay, what is the product? Two hydrogen, one oxygen to form what? H2O is the product. What is the product? H2O. Water is liberated. And listen carefully, over here two electrons are there. How many electrons are there? Totally two. Let us imagine this is a homolysis process, means equal cleavage, symmetrical cleavage. Over here two electrons are remaining after symmetrical cleavage. They form what? They form a carbon to oxygen double bond. They form what? Carbon to oxygen single bond becomes what? Double bond. Means I can write R. This is R to carbon C. Okay, there is a hydrogen over here. You write down that hydrogen. Need to write down that hydrogen. And carbon to oxygen there is a double bond. Means C double bond O. This is nothing but water. Aldehyde. Which type of alcohol is this? You see, this is a primary, means the carbon atom which contains hydroxyl group, alcoholic group, has contain what? Only one adjacent carbon, means this is a primary alcohol. Means primary alcohol on oxidation gives water, aldehyde. Understood? That's what I told you over here. Okay. Now, if you take secondary alcohol, what is the product? What is the product if you take secondary alcohol? When you take secondary alcohol, for example, listen carefully, I will take secondary alcohol, RCR prime HOH. When you oxidize this one in presence of anhydrous chromium trioxide, it provides water, nascent oxygen. Nascent oxygen is given by provided by water. This is actually oxidizing agent. It provides nascent oxygen. Over here there is a removal of same method. There is a removal of what? H2O. What is the product you see? R, C. When this bond nucleus, there is a formation of water, carbon to oxygen double bond. R, C, R prime double bond O plus this H2O is the byproduct. What is this? Ketone. What is this? Ketone. Means what is the nature of alcohol? You see the carbon containing OH group has contains water, two adjacent carbon atoms. That's why this is a secondary alcohol. Secondary alcohol on oxidation gives what? Ketones. Primary alcohol on oxidation gives aldehydes. Okay, this is what regarding alcohols, the preparation of what? Aldehydes and ketones. Now we can prepare You can prepare second method, same from alcohol only. From alcohol only, but by different method. Actually, this is by dehydrogenation. Dehydrogenation. What is dehydrogenation? First of all, we should know what is hydrogenation. What is hydrogenation?